Hi, it's Marina, the Soul Alchemist. It's time for Pick Your Own Card weekly guidance for the 20th through to the 26th of March. And I am delighted to be sharing my new Akashic Oracle deck. So if you've not checked this out, this is my deck, my actual deck. This is my actual pack. And I'm waiting for the delivery to actually arrive at the end of March. So if you want to learn how to use the cards with the Akashic records to have a really beautiful but potent modality in your pocket, then I would encourage you to look a little bit deeper at these cards, because they will absolutely support you with using the Akashic records for your business, your life, family, relationships, all of the things. So if you've not had a chance to tune in, I want you to pick cards 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to reveal the messages, the themes, and the energies supporting you over the next 7 days. It's an exciting week. We've also got the bonus card, so please do stick around for that. This is going to be about relationships, so connection to relationships in particular. So exciting week because we've got a new moon in Aries. Excuse me. We've also got the equinox. So there's a lot of kind of exciting stuff going on. It's kind of like the start of the astrological new year. So it's all about new beginnings. And what better cards to have this week to start and really support you with a brand new, fresh beginning. So if you've picked card 1, it's Prostitution of Self. So this is really about being honest with yourself and really looking at where you give your time, your energy, your gifts, your wisdom, in order to serve and support others, and it feels icky. You know that on some level that you are acting out of integrity, you're giving a part of yourself away, but you're doing it because there's in some way that you're kind of gaining something back. So whether that might be an exchange of money. So for instance, that you might get asked to do something at work that you don't particularly want to or agree with, but you do it anyway, because there's a fear of losing your job, and obviously there's that need for money. So you prostitute an aspect of yourself in order to stay in that situation. And we can convince ourselves to stay in these situations or do these things, these tiny little things, they don't have to be big, in order to on some level get something back. So that can be love, it can be security, it can be getting ahead in your business, or in your work. There's an aspect of us that can be prostituting ourselves. Now, the prostitute is an archetype that we all have. It's one that's common to everybody. If you're interested in archetype work and understanding what the conscious or the standard archetype, the universal archetype is, there's lots of different archetypes, and prostitute, as I say, is one that we all have, where we will act out of integrity in order to gain something back. So this card 1 is asking for you to be honest with yourself, and it might not be something that you're doing now, but it might be something that you've done in the past. And maybe you need to forgive yourself for doing that, for allowing your values, your integrity to drop, to be ruled by fear in some shape or form. And so, you allowed that aspect to yourself to kind of step in. Now, I'm not saying that the inner prostitute is bad or anything like that. I'm not. This is about acknowledging that you've got an inner prostitute, and that's perfect. It's part of our shadow side. But it's kind of like, are there some things that you need to look at this week, whether it be in the past or in the present, where you are acting out of integrity in order to fit in. Sometimes, we want to be part of the tribe, part of the friendship group, and there's like some gossip or something going on, and you actually don't believe, you don't agree with the gossip, but you're kind of not saying anything, or you're kind of going along with it in order to not be abandoned or rejected by the friendship circle, So this is how we can prostitute ourselves. It can come in such the smallest ways, but this is what we're actually doing. So reflect on that and let me know. There is an alignment message with each of these cards, and I'm going to give you the alignment message because if you want to use this as a mantra, it's a way of being able to release and work through any kind of revelations that you have. So prostitution of self The Akashic alignment is I am discerning with my mind, body, and soul choices. So it's just really establishing that you are discerning, that you're taking your power back, and you're gonna, you're gonna be the one in power with what choices you make and activities you do. Okay, so if you pick card 2, what I'm going to say actually also is if you want to go deeper and actually get one of these decks of cards, or you maybe want to have your own Akashic Oracle reading, then please do reach out to me, or use the link in the comments below to have a look at the actual deck. So if you pick card 2, it's unconscious projections. So what are you being influenced by? Unconscious projections, as they say, are unconscious, and they are often reflected onto us from, say, social media, people, family, and they come from all sources, and it's just where people's opinions, knowledge, scripture, opinions, programming, all of that is kind of being filtered and projected onto us. And quite often it is an unconscious thing. The person that's given this opinion or this belief or experience doesn't realize actually what they're actually doing. But often these projections can really create confusion, and also what they can do is disconnect us from our own truth. So we can really buy into what is being said, and the collective projections, the feelings of collective projections. At the moment, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of stuff around recession, and obviously there's elements of truth in all of this, but some stuff is blown way out of proportion, and that's been projected, and we can feel and we can hear it and we can believe it, and this creates, as I say, a disconnect to your own wisdom and your own truth. So this week is very much about looking at where you're being projected onto. Can you identify that and start to ask yourself, is this true for me? Is this something that I truly believe? Or am I just taking on board somebody else's opinion and getting swept away with the emotion of that? And actually, do I need to come back to myself and just be a bit more, again, discerning with what I'm listening to, or what I'm taking on board? What am I filling my head with? So be mindful of unconscious projections, what is being reflected onto you, and you don't need to take it to heart. So even like people's reactions, quite often we don't want to upset people, and sometimes we won't say things because of the reactions that person has. But it's about remembering that reaction is their thing, it's their stuff. It doesn't mean that it's then about you. And the underlying thing is not about you. Of course, their reaction is back at you because they want to hurt, or they want to defend themselves or justify themselves. So you are the thing that's triggered that. But the true thing that's triggering them is not about you. But we can be affected by these projections that come to us. So you may just find that somebody is just projecting in that way. And again, it's about coming back to you and really seeing what the true reason that person is getting triggered by, and not making it about you, just letting that go. So unconscious projections is the message here. So let me know how the card resonates. And as I say, if you want to purchase your own deck, this high vibrational deck, to learn how you can use this with the Akashic Records, and or you want a Oracle reading your next 3 months looking at, and it includes Akashic Record healing, then do let me know. Now, the Akashic alignment for unconscious projections is: I listen to my inner truth and wisdom with confidence. So I listen to my inner truth and wisdom with confidence. So use that as a mantra, because that's a way of you working through whatever fears or whatever upset or whatever kind of comes through with the unconscious projection, or however you're being influenced, and it just allows you to come back to yourself. Now, if you pick card 3, all of these cards, please do listen to all messages. They all weave into each other. Strengthening boundaries. So where do you feel that your boundaries could be stronger, and what can you do to strengthen them? So that could be having a difficult conversation. It could just be firstly recognizing that you need to put boundary in. That is the first step. And some people might be just at that very step, but they don't even realize that they've not got a boundary there. So that is like, woohoo, yeah, amazing. Now I'm realizing actually I'm letting this person get away with blue murder, and I need to start saying, no, this is not right. And this is where it comes back to, if you've not listened to card 1, the prostitution of self. That's where it comes back to. It's sometimes we just need to see. And, you know, this is where it comes into card 2, you know, where we've been projected on, and we're believing other people's stuff, and actually we're not coming into ourselves to really see the truth of what's actually going on. So when we see the truth, or when we can see where we don't have a good boundary in, or any boundary, this card this week is saying, start to strengthen your boundaries with others. Start to strengthen the boundary with yourself, so you can start to say no a little bit more, or maybe say yes a little bit more, depends on what the situation is. But allow yourself to start to put in boundaries. So the biggest one will be to start saying no to people. But then you've got the thing about upholding boundaries as well. So once we've communicated a boundary, and that's really key that we communicate it, because people aren't mind readers. Sometimes we have to really spell out, this is the boundary that I want to put in, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. It is going to feel uncomfortable because it's brand new. You've not done it before. And also, I always expect somebody to push back, because people don't like boundaries being put in. But that's okay. Once they get used to the boundary, it becomes the norm. It becomes just the norm. But we have to uphold the boundary, and that can also be the challenge. Once we've communicated it, we've got it out there, and we've got it off our chest, and we want this to happen, then the other person will maybe start to push that boundary, or try to knock the boundary down. And so this is upholding the boundary and continuing to say no until they finally get it, will be the thing that is, you know, this is where persistency is needed. But if this boundary is important for you and your well-being, and you really need it, and you feel strongly about it, then that'll be the thing that keeps guiding you and keeps you going there, and keeps, you know, establishing and upholding that boundary. So where can you put in stronger boundaries this week that are going to support you, mind, body, and soul? And the alignment, the Akashic alignment for strengthening boundaries is, I implement strong boundaries that serve me. I implement strong boundaries that serve me. So if that card is resonating, do let me know. I would love to hear. If you want to go deeper with your own Akashic reading, oracle reading, then please let me know. It's a 3-month empowerment session, which will support you with Akashic record healing, insight, wisdom, and guidance. And also, if you want to actually receive this deck and start to learn how to use it, then there's check out the link in the comments below. Now, you are here because you still want to hear the bonus message. I would encourage you to go back and listen to all 3 cards as well if you've not done that, because there's deeper wisdom in each one that I've just shared. If you've just watched it on Facebook, go back and listen to these as well, because I've kind of elaborated a little bit more. Okay, so this is about relationships, it's about connection, all kinds of relationships and connection. And the thing that's going to support you this week is gratitude practice. So for me, the biggest thing here is the relationship with self. So I know that the bonus card is relationships, but for me, based on these 3 cards that we've got, which is all about recognizing where you are being out of integrity, where you perhaps are taking on board other people's projections, and also where your boundaries need to be stronger. Gratitude practice for yourself, recognizing yourself, loving yourself, recognizing and forgiving that aspect of yourself, and being grateful for that part of you that's taken you through, you know, these different 3 cards and where you are at the moment. This is where you can really bring in the rainbows, bring in this abundance, bring in this beautiful flow. This is part of the money and wealth chamber, this particular card. But in this particular scenario, with this reading, it's all about gratitude. So feeling grateful for everything that you've experienced so far, whether you feel that's bad or good. And there's no bad or good. It's just, you know, it is what it is. We just label it bad or good because we've been taught to do that. But it is just what it is. We've had these experiences, but what can we learn from them? What can we be grateful? What is the silver lining or the golden lining? I'm going to upgrade it from silver to gold. What is the golden lining that you can have? And where can you practice more gratitude for yourself, but also for others, for everything that you have? It's easy to shift energy and shift our vibrational state when we go into a practice of gratitude. And sometimes it can be extremely hard for being grateful for all of the things that it feels like are going wrong. But find the tiniest thing that you can be grateful for. And that could be just the fact that you can breathe without it being really challenging. That you can breathe, that you can use your eyes perhaps, or you can, you've got incredible, sense of touch, or you've got really good cooking skills, or whatever it might be. Just be grateful for one small thing. And then that's from that point when you can really tune into that feeling of feeling grateful and thankful. What you're doing is you're shifting your energy into that state. And what you're doing is you're also infusing your present lifetime book in the Akashic records with that energy. So you can start to just feel a little bit more of it, then a little bit more. So be grateful for everything that that you're experiencing, all of these things, all of these 3 cards that we've talked about. Be grateful for all of that and know that you've got the power to change it. Be grateful for that as well. Be grateful for free will and choice. Be grateful for being able to breathe the air that you breathe. To be able to listen to these cards, this weekly guidance. So there's lots to be grateful for, but you're going to tap into abundance and flow with your relationship. So if it does connect with other people and being grateful for the relationship, even though it might be turbulent at times, if it's not and it's beyond that, then it's about stepping back and being grateful for the relationship that you were in and not in now. It's being grateful for all of the experiences that you have and seeing the golden lining in everything. And you're going to see golden linings in some things and not others, because that takes time. It takes time. There's no pressure with that. It'll land and it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. So let me know. Gratitude practice is the thing that will support you this week, that will help you to move through all of these 3 cards, and also elevate your relationships if it's connecting with other people. Elevate your relationships by just being grateful for them in the first place. Grateful for yourself being as part of that relationship, whether it be past or present. Just be grateful. So let me know how those cards land. I would love to hear. Also, if you want to, as I say, get your own deck and learn how to use these with the Akashic records, then please do check out the new deck, check out the link. And also, if you want to get that one-to-one support and have a unique special reading with me using the Akashic Oracle, I would love to support you. It all includes Akashic record healing as well, which is specific for you and your Akashic records. Let me know. I would love to hear, and love and blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for your time and your energy in listening, and I will see you next week. Bye.